So let's say you have this beautiful tree outside, or it was beautiful, and you look outside and it just kind of limped over, like my limped over oak tree here, and it's just looking kind of sickly. What's the first thing you want to do for that tree to make it healthier? Give it some water, right? You think to yourself, what nutrient is this tree deficient in that it needs to be healthy? And let's say you give it water and it still looks so limpy. The next thing you think is, it probably needs some fertilizer. So you give it some better food to liven it up. So as soon as whatever plant is sickly or just looks that you think, what is it deficient in that it needs to be healthy? What about people? Is it possible that we get sick because we're deficient in a nutrient we need? Absolutely. I mean, to travel back in time 100, 150 years, scurvy was a huge problem. I mean, it killed millions of people. So what caused scurvy? They're just low in vitamin C. I mean, if you look at the history, the treatments for scurvy were crazy. One of them was to rinse your mouth out with urine. In fact, just 100 years ago, I think it was 1918, one of the head nutritionists in the country at the University of Wisconsin-Madison said that scurvy was a result of constipation. That's just 100 years ago. But there are numerous health conditions and symptoms you can develop because you're deficient in certain nutrients. I mean, it's really sad. There actually has been a few cases of scurvy coming up today because people's diets are so bad that they're getting so little vitamin C, they're actually developing scurvy. It's insane. But there are a number of health conditions and symptoms we can develop because we're deficient in a nutrient, right? So ideally, we get all of our nutrients from food. There are a handful of nutrients that it's really hard to get adequate amounts of from food, so it's wise to supplement those. It's really that simple. The reason to supplement is you want to supplement your diet with the nutrients that you can't get enough of from food, right? There's very few that qualify as something you really need to supplement. Number one is vitamin D, especially as it's getting into winter time, right? Because sunlight goes down, we get less sun on our skin, we produce less vitamin D, our vitamin D levels drop drastically. That's why it's cold and flu season. It's really not cold and flu season, it's vitamin D deficiency season. Another one is omega-3 fats, which comes from fish oil and wild game. Nobody eats, I mean, it used to be all we ate, right? Humans, the only thing we ate was wild game and wild fish. We're constantly consuming omega-3 fats. Now, the most of the meats you eat are conventionally raised, and they have way less omega-3 fats in their tissues than they used to, so we're way deficient in omega-3 fats, and that's one that's really intelligent to supplement. So the only time you should take supplements is if you can't get enough of a nutrient you need to be healthy, just like the tree needs water, right, from a healthy diet. I never take protein shakes. Why? Because it's easy to get protein. I never take amino acids. Amino acids just make protein. Collagen, it's just protein. I don't take any of that stuff. It's easy to get adequate amounts of from your diet, right? I don't take, you have to realize too, like energy drinks and all that, those aren't supplements, those are drugs, okay? Because they're just giving you caffeine. Caffeine's, you don't need caffeine to survive, right? Caffeine's not an essential nutrient. It's nothing a human even requires. It's just a drug that gives you energy for workout. But I don't do any pre-workout drinks. If anything, I just have a cup of coffee. I don't do any post-workout drinks. I don't do any of this stuff. I can make a ton of money selling at my gyms because it doesn't make any sense. What I do take are just the three that I'm probably deficient in because they're really hard to get in the diet. I don't want to be the limped over weak tree, right? Vitamin D, a good fish oil, and a good probiotic. Okay, probiotics, they're healthy bacteria that used to be on the food we eat all the time. So we'd be out in nature eating food, but now everything's so clean and washed and antibiotics and things, and just our lives, on average, we get way less good bacteria in our diet, and then we're likely to get sick. So a lot of times what happens is we're not getting the nutrition that we should. We start to develop symptoms, and instead of giving us good nutrition like we would give the plant water and fertilizer, we get drugs to mask those symptoms. That doesn't make any sense. And here's what really doesn't make sense. Does it make sense to wait till the tree is limping over and almost dead before you water it? No, you want to keep it watered so it stays healthy. Same with us. It doesn't make any sense to wait until you have scurvy before you get adequate amounts of vitamin C, or wait till you're sick before you start taking vitamin D, or wait till you have arthritis and you're achy and you just feel crappy and your memory's going to hell before you take fish oil, or wait till you have Crohn's disease or irritable bowel syndrome or low immunity or don't produce enough vitamins because you're low on good bacteria before you take probiotics, right? Take it now. Take it, be proactive, so you're never a limp tree and you're always adequate and good nutrition. That is supplementation, that's intelligent supplementation, and that's gonna save you a ton of money, because once you understand the only time you should supplement is if you can't get enough of a nutrient you need from a healthy diet. The list is very, very small, and I take very few things. It doesn't cost very much, but it's the most intelligent approach to supplementation, not only for you, but for your limp ass oak tree over here.